Welcome to the video, everyone. This is the TRT and Hormone Optimization YouTube channel. I'm your host, Steve Nevels, and my guest today is Danny Bossa. Welcome, Danny.
Thanks, Steven. Nice seeing you again.
Danny has been on the channel and in videos many times before, and sometimes he has gotten comments on gyno maybe. So he says, yeah, I had gyno in the past, and this is how I fixed it. So Danny is going to talk about that today. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay, so you guys have seen that I've done a lot of videos about not blocking estradiol. And I'm a huge proponent of not touching it just because, I mean, we've just drowned you guys in studies and literature as to why it's good for your health, why you don't want to block it under any circumstance. During the time I was doing those videos, I actually had some gyno. The gyno was something I developed before I started TRT. Now, if you'd like to see some proof, here's a picture of what I looked like prior to starting TRT. And as you can see, I've got boobs, okay? I've got fat around the midsection like crazy, quite a bit of fat around the chest, and I had some huge lumps under my nipples back then. So this is a little over 5 years ago. So a lot of you are gonna say, oh, he probably got this gyno back then because his estrogen was high. Actually, it wasn't. When I got my labs done, my estradiol or my E2 was actually at 11 pgml. Okay, that's like really, really, really low. My testosterone was at 228 ngdl, which is really, really low. So clearly, high estrogen had nothing to do with me getting gyno. It was insufficient androgens, okay? So it was a lack or a deficiency in testosterone. When I started up on TRT, my testosterone level started to come up, and obviously my estradiol started to come up because that's what happens when you raise testosterone. I was doing weekly injections at the time, and weekly injections are very, very prone to causing issues with guys because they get a peak at the first day, and it drops and drops and drops and drops throughout the week, and they get another peak, and it drops and drops. And during the time that I was doing that kind of protocol, and I started off with 100 milligrams a week, which wasn't nearly enough for me at all. The lumps under my chest started swelling up. They were big, they were painful. I couldn't touch it. You know, if someone would give me a hug, it hurt. It always hurt. Not to mention, the fat that I had accumulated on my chest was just not going away. The other interesting thing that I found during that time was I could not take any type of vitamins or any type of minerals without killing my libido, which was weird. And if those of you that are in the Facebook group, you'll have seen that I've done a ton of posts about this. I tried vitamin D, vitamin B12, zinc, the whole 9 yards. It didn't matter what I would take, my libido would drop. And it was interesting because my vitamin D levels were actually measurably deficient, so was my B12. So over the course of time, I started bringing my dose up more and more and more and more. I learned that doing weekly injections was not the right way to do it, and I started doing twice weekly injections. And eventually it was doing every other day, and then I started doing daily. Currently, right now, I'm doing every other day, but that's besides the point. By doing more frequent injections, my hormone levels became more consistent. They became more stable. And I started to notice that even without an AI, the lump started shrinking a little bit. I did take an AI when I started off because I had issues about, like I said, the swelling when I was doing 100 milligrams a week, once weekly injections. I was getting swelling and pain. And I asked the doctor for an AI because I thought that this was being caused by estrogen, by estradiol, by E2. And I took the AI and it prevented the pain sensation going on. But I realized later on again that it wasn't good for my health and that basically all it was doing was masking the symptoms of a crappy protocol. Because I eventually got off the AI, got my levels consistent, and then that pain and swelling kind of went away. Interestingly enough, the more that I raised my dose, the more fat I was losing off my chest, and the more that the lump under my nipple was shrinking, okay? You know what? I'm not gonna take my word for it. I'll show you. You just saw the before. Okay, now here's the after. Okay? I can finally take my shirt off in public and not feel embarrassed. This, what I'm getting now, is I get pimples if I sweat and I don't shower right away. I get zits. I had the same thing when I was a teen. But as you can see, no sign of swelling, no sign of lumps. The fat on my chest is vanishing. Okay. Compared to the videos I did earlier on in the year, where, I mean, they were sticking out, but that wasn't from higher levels of E2. It was caused by what I had developed pre-TRT. Put this back on. So at one point I got my dose to 200 milligrams a week. My free T was at about 22, and I had stayed on there for quite some time. It was getting a little bit better, and then it just kind of plateaued. I eventually got my dose up to 250. That got my free T to 28. The lump got even better. The fat was going away even more. And over time, I got my TRT dose to 300 milligrams a week. That now has my free T somewhere around 40. My E2 right now is over 60. So my estrogen right now is, or estradiol, is 6 times the level that it was pre-TRT back when it was causing the actual gyno. Okay, so if that's, I mean, I don't know what more proof I can offer to say that the higher levels of estradiol had little to do or nothing to do with me developing gyno back then. The other interesting thing is once I got my dose higher up, where all my symptoms were resolved, I also then discovered I was suddenly able to take all these vitamins and minerals that I couldn't take before. It's as if the higher serum levels of test gave me enough libido, enough erection strength, enough energy and whatever, that I could take these vitamins and have zero issues. So then I was able to add 10,000 IU vitamin D. I was able to add 5,000 micrograms of B12. I was able to add 50 milligrams of zinc. I've added some vitamin C, some vitamin E. And upon taking those and getting those levels up, it has gotten even better and better and better and better. So I've noticed now in the last few months, a huge change in the lump that was there before that was hard. When I touch it now, I mean, I have to go look for it. Before just going like that, I could feel it. It's literally 80% gone right now. And I'm noticing week by week by week improvements overall. So I'm going to just keep everything the way that it is right now. And I'm pretty sure that within a year from now, it might even be 90% gone. I don't ever expect it to be 100% gone, but as you could see, I have no reason now to want to cover up or be shy about my chest or shy about the gyno that I developed way back when. This has worked for me. I have not touched an AI in 4 years at this point. I don't take anything else other than testosterone. I don't take DHEA, I don't take preg. I'm taking TRT, multivitamins, minerals. I'm exercising, as you can see. I'm eating healthy. And that, for me, with some time, was enough to get this 80% or more result. So I hope maybe that could help some of you guys out.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, Danny.
You're welcome.
And now do this next. Click on one of these thumbnails and go watch another video to learn a ton more about TRT and hormone optimization.